pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody sign in? I know Mitch is on his way, so hurry up and use his money. The meeting minutes from November 18th, has everybody reviewed them? And if everybody has, can I get a
Motion to approve.
Second.
all in favor of approving the November 18th, 2025 meeting minutes?
Aye.
Opposed? Next meeting minutes are January 21st, 2026.
Move to approve. I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the January 21st, 2026 meeting minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Public comments? No public comments? Okay. Next up is the program projects. We made it through all the quarterly reports, quarterly meetings. And I sent the program of projects out to everybody. Did everybody get a copy of that? So we had $411,000 left over in 26. Looks like we have 32,000 left over in 27 right now. We do have some construction projects going on. LaPorte County has their Lincoln Trail, and they also have a bridge that they're funding. The comp plan is right there. And you know, that's everything for this year. So one's in January, one's in November. So, and there's also an additional 26,000 that's in there for change orders. So I don't know if we'll have any change orders from Liberty Trail.
Probably not.
Okay.
There's only one property that we have to deal with yet on that thing, and I think we've got it worked out with planning there that we can do the driveway on the other side and not on the National Park area.
Okay. So that would leave an additional 58,000. So that we would have left over for next year. So we'd either we'd figure out something we can to do with that.
Did Mitch have any requests?
Mitch will be here in a few minutes, so he's probably in the parking lot right now, trying to run in or making his way inside the door. So,
Quick question while you're there then. So the comp plan money for 27, is there any other action needed as far as any, besides an administrative modification from you?
nope.
Okay, so it would be available in July?
Yep.
Okay.
And same with his.
Since my consultant's here, I wanted to get an update on that. Oh, yeah, I mean, but you're a consultant on the team. And it's money related to what, you know, you do.
So Any other discussion on the projects or the program of projects? Everything look good for your projects? Okay.
I did send Tucker and Jamie updates on things right now. Costs and everything.
You know, roundabout there. And
What's that?
a breakdown of costs for what it'll take us to finish everything, roundabout, all that good stuff. So,
Oh, for Bark?
yeah, parking along, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Share those with me so we can update this.
Are we still having a meeting to discuss the details of this? Or are we- I don't know what the-
So, new business.
I'll be back.
As everybody knows, NDOT closes their books on May 1st every year. This year, we tried our best to spend all the money, and you can see there was like $400,000 left over. And the only thing we can do is put it towards transit. Otherwise, it goes back to federal highway and then gets redistributed elsewhere in the country. And I've got to talk, we've been talking with transit because I know Robin has said that she would like to use it for technology or for computers, but there's nothing in the tip that says computers. So it would have to be, and it's gotta be, we have to put that in before June 30th. So,
She did have PM though, right?
what's that?
She did have PM.
She does have PM, and so does the Porte, so we can use it for that. But that's something that Stephen and Ann need to work with Michigan City Transit, as well as, and maybe start looking at like computers or whatever. Anyway, that's we'll talk with them. What I guess where I was going was after our May 1st deadline, Brianne and Ann and I had a meeting to kind of go through why we didn't get everything programmed. So, that being said, NDOT and LPA contracts, per the ITAP guidelines, and this should be everything. A lot of the stuff you should already know is that it must be approved by both the LPA and NDOT. And that's not new, that's something everybody's probably familiar with. What we don't know is the timeline that it takes you to approve those NDOT LPA contracts. Because, I mean, I'm sure your attorney's gotta look at them, it's gotta go before the Board of Works or the city council or something like that to approve them. So you have to keep that in mind. The approval for NDOT to approve these, the approval timeline, anywhere between June and February is about 15 days. But between March and May, because of everybody trying to get it in, can be around 30 days. So that's something we need to keep in mind.
Which is accurate. Actually, it was 45 in my case.
Okay. Well, it's about 30, but it can stretch because everybody else is trying to get them in. So what we want to say now is any contracts must be sent to NDOT by March 15th. That gives 45 days. So just kind of keep in mind, and if you've already experienced 45 days, then you know March 15th is really pushing it. And then we can submit a FEMA request, which generally only takes a few days. But it's just something we gotta keep these timelines in mind.
Yeah, it was like April it was the first week of April, it was approved and submitted, and it was May 15th or 17th or something like that,
Yeah.
that I got the contract back from Korea.
So, and then lastly, I think what everybody seems to forget, if you want additional funds for PE or something, keep in mind that you need an amended contract. I think everybody kind of knows that, but you forget about it. You need additional funds for PE because something came up that you weren't expecting or something like that. So you think, well, I can just add it, we can throw it on a tip amendment, or we can just do an admin mod. But if your contract doesn't show that, then you've got to go through all these steps. So just keep that in mind. Now, tip amendments, as we have been talking, some of this in here you probably don't realize, but in figuring on tip amendments, we start with the Transportation Committee, and that is, and everything has to be, we start with that date. Everything needs to be turned in and put out to the public a week before. So you minus that 7 days, minus a 21-day public comment period, minus the 7 days for ICG, Intergovernmental Consultation Group review. That's 35 days right there. Plus, if we add 5 days for float, we're talking 40 days. So, I mean, that's just leading up to the Transportation Committee. And then NDOT Federal Highway can take another 90 to 105 days. So right now, I think the last two ones have taken 95 days. And they're right at, last week they were at 90 days for the February amendment. So we'll see. The February and the emergency amendment in March, early March, they're both on the same STIP amendment, so I kind of expect them to get us approval anytime.
And that's necessary for my project to move forward. That was the only remaining step besides the contract coming back.
Right, well, once that gets approved, then I can submit an admin mod. So this total timeline for amendments is 5 months. Just something we got to keep in mind that, and things just don't happen overnight. Now, emergency amendments. According to our tip, we can do an emergency amendment for 2 reasons. One, safety. A classic example being a bridge strike by a truck or something like that, or a loss of funds. Now, with the loss of funds, what constitutes the old adage, what constitutes an emergency on your part does not constitute an emergency on my part. That is true with NDOT. So the emergency amendment we submitted back last March, they paired it with the regular amendment that we submitted in February. So therefore, we haven't got that back yet either. So that's still, we're going to require 90 to 105 days, probably pushing out more to 105 days, because we still need to do 7 days for the ICG review on those also, before we can sign it and send it to NDOT. So,
ICG review, what is ICG review?
ICG is the Intergovernmental Consultation Group.
That's an emergency thing?
No, that's a state, EPA, Federal Highway.
Oh, that, okay.
So, because we're an air quality conformity area, because we're in that area, Federal Highway, Federal Transit, if needed, EPA, IDEM, and NDOT all need to review or do an informal review. So, anyway, moving on, tip amendments, we need to get those submitted by February 1st. So that means any tip amendment, the normal process is gonna be Thanksgiving. Everything's gotta be in by Thanksgiving. And if it's not in by Thanksgiving, then we can do an emergency tip and submit that at roughly the same time as we do the January amendment. So we're not gonna have, our last amendment for the year is gonna be January. So, and generally sometime around Christmas time, I've got an idea if we're gonna have any additional funds. So just keep in mind these timelines because it's becoming more and more. In fact, it's even stretching out longer and longer with some of the workflows and down at INDOT and at Federal Highway. So in general, at NERC and INDOT, I mean, we all know how great Brianne and Marcy are. We want to help everybody, but just all got to make sure that everybody does their part. Project phases must be in the current tip. In the past, we've been able to say, if you've gotten, for instance, PE in 25, well then it's already in the tip, so we can just give you more PE this year. Well, that's not in the current tip. We're in the 26th. So this could be burdensome on even number of years when we have a brand new tip, like in FY26, because in one project we tried to give them money and they had money in 25. Well, that's not in the current tip.
That's a new rule?
It's,
Or a rule that they didn't enforce before but are now?
they were a little more lax on it, let me say that.
So that could, I mean, for multi-year projects, which most of the big projects are, that can be a real pain.
Yes,
Because we would have to, how would we know whether or not, when would we know when we would have to request a tip amendment to incorporate that project into the new tip?
well, if you knew when you first got your PE funds, if you knew you got PE funds in 24 and you were asking for more PE funds, that would be an amendment. Even if you wanted $10,000.
And you'd have to have that normally submitted by Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Or January.
So that really gives you 5 months to know whether or not you need to have an amendment
Yeah.
from July to November. Essentially.
Well, if you can ask for it, but we may not know if we have the funds.
I'm just saying this for you guys. I mean, it's something that
We may not know if we have the funds, so it could be just on our radar on the back burner, keep it in the back of our minds that if there's any extra money, we would like to put it towards this project. Or we'd like to submit $20,000 for this project, or whatever it is, $40,000 for this project.
But you would have to know basically around Thanksgiving.
Well, as the year progresses, I know about how much money we have left over. Like I know in FY27, we already have $58,000 that we can spend. We're expecting about $58,000. Mitch has 2 projects this year, and that could cut into that. My man Mitch. He's got the Lincoln Trail and Bridge 7.
Yeah, no, Union Mill sidewalks.
No.
Oh, yeah,
Well, that's not,
Yeah,
you know sidewalks.
that's a whole other thing.
Right. So, just keep in mind that on even number of years, we just have to watch that. Or if you haven't gotten funds in a couple of years, we have to watch that too.
That's how I got burned.
Having projects let in Q3 or Q4 hinders our ability to obligate funds. So, and especially if you have an issue with your schedule. then you could really be jeopardizing. Because right now, if I can't afford, if we can't, we just can't normally move it from one year to the next, because that means someone else in that next year's gotta move out. So if we can't get it in this year, chances are it's gonna move out 3 or 4 years. So, and a lot of consultants, I think I'd like to say that they get better pricing. I've heard a lot of times we get better pricing in March. Going through inflation calculators, I find that the bid pricings are only like a percent different January than October, for instance. Because you're just doing you just haven't actually sometimes they can do stuff over the winter time too, depending on what the winter's gonna be like, so. And like we were saying, 5 months means we can't get additional funds last minute in most cases. And last minute anymore, it's gotta be January. So 4 months before the end of the year. So just keep this in mind. And all of us collectively, we can't get behind. And we tried, but it wasn't, we thought we had used the money, but NDOT and Federal Highway are just taking their time on reviewing things. And so therefore we must stay on top of our projects. And then lastly, the success of each project belongs to all of us, but ultimately they're your projects. You're the one that has to go to the mayor and say, our schedule has slipped, we can't afford it this year, so NERC moved this out 3 years. And if that's that's not an election year, or that comes after election year, it's something that keep in mind. And I've told numerous mayors in the past that with our NOFA process, if you're a one-term mayor, you may not get to reap the fruits that you sow by proposing a project and they get it improving and your successor takes the credit for it. So just keep that in mind that, yeah, we just need to stay on top of all our projects. So. Any other new business? Any request for that 58,000?
I was gonna say, Mitch, did you have anything today?
We had a discussion on the phone last week for about 2 of my projects that didn't go through. Wasn't approved until amendments got approved. One was Union Mills and one was Bridge 166. They were both right away. And you said that there was 50,000 and you completely for Union Mills petition. The sidewalks there for right away purchasing. The original ask was off the top of my head was 130,600 federal. And county would come with the rest.
So in 2027, Bridge 166, I've got you 26,000.
Okay.
And then it is, so after that, we've got 58,000.
And that was mostly for
And there was the two of you, right? And then Shannon also had a request for 43,000.
For which project?
I mean,
Singing Sands Phase 3, that's broken down into 3 phases.
3C.
Yeah. So it's mainly for condemnations,
Which area is that?
Grand Beach Road. So I've
So-
got 2 being filed right now, but I think we're gonna have 6 more, up to 6 more condemnations. Yep. So right there's $180,000 if they all get filed.
Do you think any of them are gonna fall off?
Don't know at this point, I doubt it.
what is it?
The homeowners are just being ridiculous
Or these Kimball Woods?
in that area, yeah. But I mean, we've got offers for like 3,500 and they're coming back with counter offers of 165 grand with no justification at all.
3,500?
So 165 grand.
That's kind of like Mitch's trail over there.
Yeah, the one we actually built that one.
Yeah, that
Really?
guy,
No, it's
that-
actually-
he wanted you to buy his whole property?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got one of those too. She
I
wants
had a
to
guy
buy your
that,
house.
he was appraised at 40, and he wanted 650.
Wow,
Little gap.
nice lookout.
For Lincoln Trail?
Yeah. No, yeah, Marquette.
Oh,
the Marquette
The
tree.
second
The Marquette.
section was built, went from the state line to El Portal.
Wow. Those people are lawyered up.
He's right on the border of Michigan.
North of Highway 12.
He only 11 miles, 11.
Well, I don't think they have beachfront property and they don't.
In some cases, they might have ditchfront properties.
Yeah.
Or if they do have beachfront property, it's, but they're, in your case, the house was way back. Was probably, how far off?
Oh,
The
it
road?
was about 400 feet off the road, and there was a huge buffer of 80-foot pines. You cannot see his house from where we were facing the trail. He was saying it was invasion of privacy. That was his claim for more money.
Oh, wow.
610,000 for invasion of privacy, I guess. 40,000 for the.
Well, you know, all us cyclists, we're nothing but thieves
Yeah,
and,
Apparently peeping Toms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got those playing cards stuck in that, yeah. Wheels, you hear that noise all the time.
yeah, as I got a 52-inch screen
Yeah.
or 108-inch screen strapped to my back.
At night, though, like midnight.
Yeah. The Michigan City playing card ride.
That Union Mills. It's, I think if I remember correctly, Union Mills weddings in February of next year. So even if you give me the 58,000, we're not gonna be on there. I'm gonna lose my construction money anyway. I don't see
I had that.
we getting that done. Yeah, you're not gonna get construction.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, I mean, that Union Mills is not within
Yeah,
the
that's
Not the same
urbanized
year,
area.
is it? Oh, it's not in the urbanized area.
No, it's Union Mills.
so I
So
don't know.
we gave the county funds out of our good graces and the fact that we had extra money. This was before Shannon needed, or even after Shannon needed the money. We still had this money left over, so that's why we gave, what was it 166?
130.
130? So,
Whatever, yeah, so we never got approved.
Because of it not being in the urbanized area?
No, it was just,
Oh,
the
we
amendment approved.
That's what I-
yeah, it was in one of the amendments.
February or what?
That's still not in there, so. It's still not in the STIP, so.
Even on that, my side, they're taking forever to, I think my amendment went in to transit in end of September, we didn't bring anything to people.
Holy crap.
Yeah,
And it's,
because of the amount of
How do
different,
you operate that way?
because of the different paperwork they're requiring.
I don't know, the question, I don't know.
I think it was September. I think it was the end of September.
And that's pretty straightforward stuff.
some of it, but they changed it. So, I mean, as Charles was saying, we're trying everything to kind of make sure we go through, but it's not on our end if they approve it or not approve it, it's how much time they have, and if it's NEPA, that's a whole other. Who was it, somebody on this side that talked about NEPA and how long it was taking, or
What's that?
the NEPA was taking, how many.
I just finished one.
Yeah,
for
John
an
Krugerberg
acre
said-
Playground and it took 9 months.
They were saying 18.
John Krugerberg said 18 months
For a phase?
for NEPA.
Just for the little Fetter's Alley playground.
Oh, for the playground.
Took 9 months.
All that little lawn area is really environmentally sensitive.
That's nuts.
It's just grass.
It's just grass.
Yeah, but, and
You don't have.
I actually talking with a consultant, and he was saying, you know, Army Corps, FAA, they aren't as terrible. But it's the cards we've been dealt, so to speak.
Mm.
So,
Pushing it back, that's all.
what's that?
Keep pushing it back.
But
They're making it difficult to switch years.
I know.
I mean, they're making it more difficult to switch years by doing these new rules. Where we used to be able to just switch years to keep up with projects, now you can't switch years if
It's
it's
taken
not.
11 months to get the review, so.
You almost have to automatically put your project in the next tip if it's a multi-year project, just to keep it on.
But the thing is, when they do reviews, they don't, if you put in a project for review in, say, well, you can't do anything beyond 29 because they won't review it. Because 30, even though we have a 5-year tip, Federal Highways only looks at the first 4 years. So you're not going to get any reviews for 2030, even at the state level, because they have other projects that are more important.
It, you know, realistically, it's not a bunch of people, reviewers, and
So,
That's probably the issue.
the staff still know.
and I don't know what's on everybody's plate, so.
Well, this meeting was a breath of fresh air.
Overburdened, I guess.
Glad you didn't miss it.
Usually we're discussing, we'll work with you on this money, we'll work with you on this money.
So, speaking of working with you on this money, that money, we have a couple different options for the 58,000.
Okay.
We have an option for 43 of it going to Shannon, and then the balance going towards Mitch. Are you going to be able to use that?
You're
money?
saying,
Yeah, we know.
you think you're not gonna be able to get that?
We got
project?
100, but there's, let's see, 15 owners. It's, estimated to be 180,000, that's why the original ask was 131 or whatever. Federally. I mean, 15,000, that's good, I could buy one property.
Buttermilk, we say you have $1,000 each.
I don't know, could I do this installments, like give everyone like 1,000 to keep the process going? I mean, I don't know.
It's like earnest money.
Yeah, here's a 1,000, come back next tip of for the other 2,000.
Earnest money for a federal position.
I mean, I don't know, could I do that? Is that acceptable? Could keep the project going.
So, Mitch, you've got 2 projects that are going this year, so it depends on how those projects left. If they come in higher, they come in low.
Yeah.
Do we want to give Shannon the 43,000 and then,
I guess, I don't really know. Fine.
Shannon, do you want to make a motion?
Make a motion or what? Make a
I'll
motion,
take what you can
I'll
get.
take 43.
I'll make a motion that we, I'll make a motion that we give Shannon the 43,000 she's requesting.
Well, you gonna give me the 15 though? Need that 15.
And Mitch the 15
Okay,
he's
there you go.
requesting.
Amend that.
I'll second that.
I don't know if I do with that money.
Same.
By one.
Also
Actually,
Shane.
Mitch, better look at value engineering for your project.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Okay, we got a first and a second.
Who made the second?
Can I second?
He can't. No,
No.
Jamie can't. She's here on behalf of.
No, she can't.
Oh, sorry.
You're not
Never mind.
What about deflation?
I don't know.
So it's one of you two that would have to make the second.
I'll second.
All those in favor? We'll try to keep this on the rails.
Yeah.
Okay, Shannon, we'll give you that money July 1st-ish.
So I'm looking for 1,500.
Yes, and whatever you can save on your projects,
There you go.
so. Any other new business? Moving on to number 6 then, the NOFA update. I recently gave, I sent all the applications we met internally to discuss all the rules. If we're gonna change how they apply internally, like I mentioned. And then I sent all the applications to all of the NERC staff that kind of run those, they were committees. Like Scott Weber is reviewing the applications for the new roadways and the roadway modifications. Iman's looking at TOD and planning application, the application form itself. Kathy Luther's working on the environment and air quality applications, and then of course then Mitch is working on the application form itself for trails and complete streets. Once we come together and we agree on the scoring and everything like that, then we'll probably do a working group sometime in maybe early August to kind of let everybody, or maybe even July, I don't know, to let everybody know what the applications are gonna be like. The applications aren't gonna, haven't changed much over the previous. We pretty much have weeded out or taken care of all the questions that everybody got zeros on, or questions that everybody got at all the points that were capable of getting. So the only addition was a request to include participation at NERC in the application. So, and it ties into if your mayor or whoever is coming to the commission meetings. So your participation in the commission meetings and then of course participation in these type of meetings too. Whether it's environment, economy in place, or the transportation committee too. So we have it at, I think, set it somewhere like 8 points. So 8 points isn't going to automatically give someone a project, but it'll make a good project great, or make a so-so project good. So that's what we're kind of thinking about. But it could make a difference between whether you get a project or you get one or you don't get one.
When do you anticipate the call for?
It'll be, we put the call out in September.
September.
Yeah, September's a good month. It gives everybody time to submit them, and it would be out for 30 days. If you have any questions, if you want to talk about any projects, feel free to reach out to Tom Vanderwood or myself. We'll be able to schedule a time we can discuss your projects with you, or what your potential projects with you.
And this is what years again?
This is gonna be 28 to 32.
Or we have programmed out to
To 30.
30 already. So it's 30 to,
It's 31 and 32, really. Yeah. But depending on what, see, we had Lake Street and Polk Street in there, so depending on how those,
we'll have to discuss those.
I think you didn't care, you mentioned not caring so much about Polk Street expansion.
I wouldn't put it that way.
Yes. It's just Lake Street is more.
Lake Street's more. Correct.
Lake Street is prioritized.
Yes, and then both following.
And then of course, Park is above all of those,
Yes.
Yep.
so. So anyway. But there could be a chance where if we had extra funds, depending on.
And what is our anticipated target that we think is gonna be available per year? Do we have any idea?
How much?
Yeah.
2,400. 2.4.
2.4.
Yeah, 2,400.
We can give it to Mitch, he can get some more profit. Let it go on.
You signed that building.
Yeah, so if looking at it, we get 1.6 million for STBG funds, 262,000 for HSIP, 670,000 for CMAC projects, 240,000 for trails, 210,000 for carbon reduction programs. This is under the current IIJA. And then 30,000 for, maybe 31,000 for Protect, which is for preparing for emergencies, weather emergencies, climate resiliency, I should say. Which I've been throwing those on the bridges. So. Moving on, Operation Roadwise. I don't think most of you have gotten this flyer in an email and in constant contact. ICAP is putting on this Operation Roadwise. In the past, NDOT has run these safety summits, so to speak. And it's kind of lets everybody in the room kind of talk about projects and what needs to try to work its way toward Vision Zero. I'm going to be in Plymouth on June 23rd at that meeting, so
Circle that one.
if you want me to swing by and pick you up, let me know. I can swing by and pick you up in like somewhere at the interchange and 30 and well, I'm coming from a little bit further south, so I'm just going to take 30 out there, so I can pick you up at like say 30 and 35,
That works.
or 30 and 421 maybe, or 30 and 69. I can pick you up and take you then.
I'll let you know. Come on.
So. ASHTO has a safety software, new safety software coming out, or NDOT, right now everybody uses Road Hat. And this fall, NDOT is switching to ASHTO Safety Software. ASHTO's had this out for a few years. I think 13 or 14 states already use this software, and NDOT's gonna migrate towards that. The big thing that they're working on right now is ASHTO Safety Software does not put out an ICC or an ICF. So they're working on getting those numbers to correspond to an ICC and ICF. So once they do, and they expect that'll be done sometime this early fall, and then they're gonna make the switch to the ASHTO Safety Software. So I'm sure they're gonna be having training, and if nothing else, you'll hear a lot about it at road school next year. So just keep that in mind. Like I said, 13 or 14 states already do it, so already using this software. So you can go right now, if you go on YouTube, you can probably download one of those states, their training for it. So something, if you really wanted to get into it, you could. But just keep in mind that Road Hat is not going to be used. I don't think Road Hat's, NDOT is telling us that starting in calendar year 2027, they're going to be using ASHTO Safety software. And then lastly, I don't know if everybody got this last week, railroad grade crossing. If you have a railroad crossing that needs an upgrade, NDOT is willing to, they're having a no file for it, and applications are due July 10th. So if you have a crossing that needs new modernization or something like that,
Did they say how much funding that would be available potentially?
You said July 10th?
it's due July 10th, yes. I'll give you this if you want. Like I said, it was a constant contact that came out for.
Can that go towards elimination of the crossing?
I'm sure it could. Not a current project. This is mainly meant towards smaller type projects like modernizing, putting new crosswalks and new arms down.
We've got Buffalo Street, which used to be a major entry point to the hospital before they moved down to 94, and now police and fire say they never use Buffalo, and with maybe 8 cars a day to cross. We've got Ohio to the west and Pine to the east, so it's not really used, but if we could get rid of it, get some money to remove the crossing, that'd be great.
You can propose that.
What's even there, just signs.
Yeah.
Take signs out, put a barricade up, done.
Yeah,
Don't ask the
you see how
railroad.
people drive around things, so.
Don't ask the railroad, just do it.
You know, you can even put it in over at the trail, Singing Sands Trail.
I actually watched a guy run over a barricade right in front of me down in the park. And his park's there, big, orange, freshly painted. And he just hits it, runs over it with all 4 tires, then he stops and said, "Oh, don't worry, I'll put that back up."
That was mighty nice of him.
I'm like, what?
Were you in your park truck? Or your park
No,
truck?
I was in office.
Sorry.
So anyway,
Ended up Washington Park.
Actually, when you are.
So you can't make these things up that happen in Washington
No.
Park.
so yeah, maybe look at the Singing Sands. See if we can get that resurrected.
Oh, phase 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, they quit talking to us. We were meeting every 2 weeks, and now it's been
You got kind of old.
since February, I think.
Yeah, well, we gave them permit to tear down the old coal tower, so that was it, once they got that.
That's when they quit
really
talking.
stopped,
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly. And like I said, it was every 2 weeks for a year. They disappeared.
That's everything, almost everything I have. The next TROC meeting is August 25th. And then November, if everybody's okay, November 24th, that is the Tuesday before Thanksgiving.
Can you do it in Porte County?
The only problem is we don't yet, we're having trouble getting a good Wi-Fi. And we have to, this has to be video.
Should be able to get it at City Hall now, because we just upgraded everything.
There's a lot of technology that goes into these routers. We tried it at another location and never had success. So I think.
So I know when you were in the city, you were running into our firewall.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah, we're just way too like over.
We tried, and we even tried going to the Community Health Center, Community Health Care Foundation,
Yeah. And they have a problem.
and we had problems with there.
Yeah.
Our system doesn't like that, their system.
Just look Porte County.
Michigan City, you have issues there.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was just the firewall.
I think Tom
He
said
did
he was
try the
trying to
county.
hear it.
yeah, we can, I mean, we've got everything set up here, and I think, with the amount of, I think the meetings are gonna be here. Anything else with the good of the order?
Meetings still remain at 1 p.m.
1 p.m., yes.
Can we cut it out? I'll make a motion.
We have a motion, I don't think we need a motion to adjourn, do we? Okay, we got a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All those in favor, signify by standing up.
Getting out. Thanks, Charles.
Slowly.